look closer than normal.
That's all right.
Okay.
It's intimate.
All right. I think on this TOG, Two Opinionated Guys rant, we need to talk a little bit about, is religious persecution a real thing right now?
Mm-hmm. And I know that we're really trying to not make everything about COVID, but I would be a little curious about how you and perhaps
Everything wouldn't be about COVID if COVID didn't exist for so long.
if it wasn't involved in everything.
Right.
Right.
I mean, when it was supposed to be just the 1 month thing, then it
Mhm.
wouldn't be everything we talk about. But
But
unfortunately,
I would be super curious as to how you, being an active practicing Christian,
because let's be clear, you're not.
no,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what I am, but I'm not that.
You're not.
How you guys
active.
Justify dealing with the government basically telling you can't practice? I mean, that is religious
Well,
persecution.
for one,
but you've accepted it.
I haven't accepted it. 100% I haven't. And I can explain how.
Are you breaking the law right now?
I don't know.
Garage church?
Garage church, for one. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I've met unmasked in my house, in my shop. I even bought a podium, and I invite people who are comfortable. I don't want to invite the people who aren't comfortable to come in and worship. And we've had people from all different religions. I'm super glad I don't live in California, who's, the governor's trying to restrict, hey, even if you're going to sing, if you're going to, basically you're not allowed in mosques and temples, and they're trying to, they're shutting down church and they're squeezing it hard. And if you're not a religious person, which I would say you claim to kind of be on the fence maybe, do you view that as religious persecution? Are you okay with it as a non-religious person?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I also want to know, you have the perspective as a practicing Christian, and I know that Dennis, a person who we know is a practicing Catholic, I'd be curious to know a little bit more detail about that, because me as a non-practicing anything, I have always been curious about what are the differences, and I wonder how he's handling that. But yeah, I mean, I view it as religious persecution for sure, and I think that me sitting back in this time, I'm going, what are you all going to do about this, right?
Yeah,
because I feel like you guys should be at the forefront for the most part.
Well, I don't I don't run the churches. I'm not I can't lead an army, but I can.
Not with that attitude.
But I can do my part and say, hey, with my family and my circle of influence and my friends, and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to meet still, and we're going to worship the God that, I believe created us and I believe deserves worship. And there's not anything our governor or our, higher powers can do, because, God's bigger than that. And so I'm going to continue to worship regardless. And maybe this is something, we're called to do. Life's been a little bit easy for us. And maybe this is one of the things that we got to power through. And our kids are witnessing what's happening now. And, we think COVID is kind of a long time, but in retrospect, when we fast forward 10 years from now, it was only a blip in 9 months of our life, or maybe a year. I don't know, because it still hasn't ended. But they're going to look at this, and it's a timestamp in their mind and an impression of what we did. And so I think what we do right now is really important to that. And so, yeah, I'm not standing for it. I don't have, I'm not the archbishop, but I am somebody in my community who says, hey, if you want to come, you want to worship our creator, you can come to my house.
Well, and then defining what is religious persecution versus you guys are just, collateral damage in what's going on with COVID.
Sure. Because we're not getting nailed to a cross.
And I think religious persecution is a very specific term that has meaning, and I think that it would be important to figure out if that is something, if you're being persecuted, or if the church is just, like I said, collateral damage in the situation. I think you're being persecuted.
Well, yeah, and if I'm a liberal, if I'm a liberal, I'm definitely being persecuted, because if you say any hateful thing to me, I'm going to tear up and cry, and I'm going to, I'm going to throw a fit, and I might even say you shouldn't say those things, and we might even make that illegal. I don't know.
Well, and as white Republican men, we are used to being persecuted, so it's fine.
Okay, double persecution. If you want to hear more about, religion and a deeper dive into Catholicism, listen to episode 23. All right, thank you guys.
Thanks.